Chesty Puller, whose statue stands not far from us. The icon leader of the Marine Corps. A person who received 5 Navy Crosses for bravery. And his leadership, no doubt, was outstanding. There is a story that in Korea his unit was surrounded by the enemy. And he was asked if he was going to have his Marines retreat. And his reply was, Marines never retreat. We advance to the rear. In Vietnam, a group of Marines were outnumbered. Their commanding officer said they must pull back. One Marine, badly wounded, was accidentally left behind. When they reached a safer area, his buddy, realizing that he was not with them, wanted to go back and get him. But his commanding officer told him no, it would be suicide. But he had to go. He did, and when he found his buddy, he picked him up in his arms and carried him back to safety. He was alive. And he said to his fellow Marine, I knew you would come back for me. That speaks of character and loyalty and dedication and faithfulness, which every person in the armed forces must possess in order to win. I wonder how many times in the history of America has this kind of a letter been sent home to mom and dad? The letter says, I am writing this letter to let you know how proud I am that both of you for signing my papers. You will never know how much that means to me. I know it was not easy. But you know there's a war to be won. And it's got to be won by boys like me. We can fight the battlefront. But you, like all other mothers and fathers, have the hardest fight of all. Just remember, we are fighting for peace. Peace between races of people. Peace at home among families. And together we can find peace. The writer of that letter was known as Scott. He never got to come home. We, as a citizen of this great nation, must support that person who stands between us and harm. So we can keep the values we enjoy every day. No doubt in this audience, there are many Gold Star family members, relatives of those who never got to come home. And they clearly understand the sacrifices that have been made and will be required as long as there are those who wish to do us harm. In America's history, there have been 5,525 individuals who received the medal that I wear around my neck. Many of them sacrificed their lives by going above and beyond the call of duty and sacrificing their life for somebody else. On Iwo Jima, 27 Medals of Honor were awarded to those individuals who went above and beyond. 14 of them sacrificed their lives, not for themselves, but for others. 13 of us were fortunate enough to get home. In the War on Terror, 24 have been awarded. 15 have come home. And yet that is not to say that others did not go above and beyond the call of duty and perhaps deserved the nation's highest award. But there were no one to make the recommendation, or there were no witnesses to confirm what happened on that particular occasion. World War II is the only war where our freedom was really in jeopardy. World War I, we fought in a foreign land to help another people. In Korea, Vietnam, and Iraq. Now in Afghanistan, Americans are sacrificing their lives so that others might have some idea of what freedom is all about. As a young country boy with no military experience and no military influence in the community, I had no desire to be in the military. I was going to be a farmer all my life. But we were told that what happened at Pearl Harbor, that our homeland could be attacked, that our freedom could be lost, that our way of life could be changed. At that time, we as a people and we as a nation certainly were not prepared for war. Some of our soldiers were training to protect America with broomsticks instead of rifles. We were in no shape to defend ourselves. To illustrate how naive I was, My concept of defending America was not to go fight a war or to take lives or to serve someplace I'd never heard tell of. My concept was that we would gather here in our own country, shoulder to shoulder, do whatever we had to do to protect the values that we have. Military service changes the moment that you enter. As a country boy, I was taught you do not kill. The only reason you would be for food or to protect yourself or your family. Any other way was wrong. The history books didn't explain to us what war was actually like. On the island of Guam in 1944, I witnessed the horrors of war for the first time. There was no choice. If we're going to win, we must come out on top. Our belief as Americans is that life is precious and everything must be done to preserve it. But the belief of the enemy was that it was an honor to die in combat and for the emperor, which made them a very tenacious enemy.